Tonight, over 100 students of the Wale Wale Senior High School in the Northern region have fled the school following a rampage there.
The demonstration started last night around 9 p.m. The students chased the headmaster out of campus. He passed the night in town. So the police service came this morning to arrest the students, and they chased them out of campus. So when after chasing the police people, they came straight to their house, set the house on fire, and destroyed his property.
This is today's big story, and my name is Stephen Enti. The students on Sunday embarked on a demonstration and accusing the headmaster of selectively admitting students from the Bimoba community and rejecting those from the Wale Wale township. The demonstration started around 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. on Sunday, and the headmaster of the school was chased out and is currently taking shelter in the Chief Palace. The angry students are said to have torched a police patrol vehicle to protest the arrest of two of their colleagues. We're now getting on the phone line to speak to the Northern Regional Minister, Bit Ziding. It's great to have you here, sir. Good evening. Good evening, sir, Mr. Bit Ziding.
Good evening.
It's great
to all your listeners.
Great to have you. Now, what's the situation on the ground now? The update we have is that about 100 students of the Wale Wale Senior High School have fled the school, and the chief is also seeking shelter in the palace. Can you give us any update on the situation on the ground?
Thank you very much. What happened at Wale Wale Senior High School is most unfortunate, and we are all shocked about the turn of events. But currently, calm has returned to the school, and then I think everything is very calm there. Because when we were informed about the rampaging students in the school, I directed the district chief executive to try to move to the school and then find out what indeed was happening. But he indicated to me that it was difficult.
Right.
And the first police officers who tried to get to the school premises were chased away. And so they had to take a very quick decision. And so they called to find out what else to be done. Because the police there are very on the ground. They don't have more than 4 police officers there, and they could not contain the situation.
Right, Mr. Ziding, was it not possible to get police reinforcement if the situation was getting out of hand and the police strength was unable to contain?
Yes, precisely. I was coming to that. You see, Wale Wale is about 70 miles away from Tamale, and about 30 miles away from Bolga. But Wale Wale is under the Northern Regional Command. So even though the message came to us and then the regional police commander was working to send down reinforcement, you know, it takes such a long time to move troops to one end. And
right.
The students were just busy vandalizing things. And
right.
So the reinforcement actually did go to Wale Wale. Indeed, we had to even call Upper East to send the reinforcement because Upper East is closer. And even though Wale Wale is not under the Upper East command, we thought that the situation was like that we needed to have them in Wale Wale. So they responded quickly, whilst a reinforcement team also moved to Wale Wale.
Right.
And that's what enabled them to be able to contain the situation.
Great. Now, the information we have is that the Regional Security Council held a meeting today. All are still in the meeting. Are you able to give us some information on this meeting?
No, the regional security committee will hold a meeting tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
What the meeting which was held was the district security committee.
Right.
Because that is the security committee on the ground there. And they must hold a meeting and then take decisions, and then those decisions will pass on to us, and then we can also look at what else can be done.
Are you able to give us snippets of information that is coming from this meeting?
Yes. The first decision that they took was to close down the school immediately. And so the school has been closed down, and the students have been sent home. And so that is the first thing. Now, they have arrested some students who were caught. In fact, 3 of them were caught taking away computers. So those students have been arrested. 22 others have also been arrested as suspects. And all these students who have been arrested have been sent down to Tamale for further interrogation.
Right. What about the concerns of these youth that the school, the headmaster, selectively admitted students from the Bimoba community, rejecting those from Wale Wale? I mean, the grounds of this sounds a bit awkward, but how will such a perception form in the minds of the youth of the town?
Well, those are matters which are yet to be subjected to thorough investigation. The causes for their dissatisfaction, those matters are yet to be investigated, and then will come out with the real truth regarding those matters. But be it as it may, certainly, if that is the perception, then I'm sure that this perception must have been as a result of indigenous people who are also either members of staff or teachers in the school. And so it must come from such people which will feed into the minds of students, and then probably based on that they will begin to. But otherwise, I don't think that so far we have been able to establish anything. But that is what it may be.
Right.
But we haven't established anything yet.
Right. Mr. Zadina, I'll still have you hold, and I'll go back on the ground to our Northern Regional Correspondent, Mohammed Hashmin, for an update there. Mohammed, it's great to have you on the show.
Hello.
Mohammed Hashmin, it's great to have you on today's big story.
All right, thank you very much, Steve.
Good. So what updates can you give us from where you are?
Well, there's calm in the school, and police, a combined team of police, military personnel have taken over the school and then the town itself, and they are maintaining law and order at the moment. But for the students themselves, they have fled the campus for fear that they will be arrested by the security. Now, residents themselves over there are worried about the new trend that is developing there, because it appears that the security have mounted roadblocks on the main Wale Wale Bolgatanga highway. They are searching buses looking for students. Now, they have arrested some students, which the residents have told me that these students may be innocent. But before I left the place just a while ago, I saw some police personnel. They drove about 2 students from a bus that was heading towards Tamale. They beat them up. They hit them with their weapons, and then they drove them on the ground. It was a very terrible.
So Hashmin, let me ask you: is this a first-hand information you have? Were you there? Did you see, or the students are reporting this to you?
Well, this was an incident I saw myself, and later on, I was also confronted with that same incident by the residents there. And then neighboring communities, for instance, a community like Kunkwa and then it's the surrounding communities, they have also told me that the police came to those communities because they had information that some of the students may be hiding in the communities at the outskirts of Wale Wale town itself. So the residents are saying that if the police continue this act, they will end up hurting people who are not even students, because there are a lot of buses that fly that road, because it's a major highway that link Tamale to the Upper East Wing, Bolagatanga, and other areas. And they are saying that if the police continue that way, it will be very, very bad.
And what about the DISEC meeting today? Are you able to, the regional minister tells us that the DISEC meeting indeed took place. Are you able to report anything more than the fact that the meeting took place?
What I was made to understand is that whatever decision that will be taken from the DISEC meeting will be communicated to the regional minister and then the Public Affairs Directorate of the police service in the region, and they will be communicating it to any media person who wants information to that effect. So at the moment, it is unclear. One cannot be able to confirm where ABCD was what the District Security Council took after they met.
Right, Mohammed Hashmin, we're grateful for the update, that quick update there. Thank you very much. This is today's big story, and we still have Honorable Bid Zidane still on the line having a discussion with us about the situation there in Wale Wale. So, Honorable, you heard our reporter. I'm not sure you heard him, but the reporter is saying that police have mounted roadblocks and looking out for students in all the vehicles that are plying away from Mamprusi. The residents are suspicious that this action could lead to the arrest of non-students who have nothing to do with this. What's your reaction to that?
I'm surprised at that. What did the people expect the police to do? Look, when I started with this narration, I told that the Wale Wale police are very thin on the ground. And so, naturally, you must get people who are outside Wale Wale. And, of course, the people who are outside Wale Wale, they don't know the people in Wale Wale. They will not have known the students. And so the only reasonable thing to do is to mount roadblocks and make sure that everybody passes through that roadblock. If you are not involved in the matter, naturally you will pass through. If you are involved in this matter, probably we haven't appreciated the damage that has been done. The headmaster's bungalow has been burnt down completely. The police vehicle has been burnt. The police office has been vandalized. Vehicles have been vandalized. The ICT center has been completely vandalized. 74 computers have all been carried away. And so the police must take very stern action in order to stem what is going on. And so they must subject everybody to a search in order for them to be able to get the criminals involved in this activity. So I get surprised when people who were complaining about the fact that students are rampaging, they are destroying things. We send policemen to go and maintain law and order, and they are complaining about that. I don't know. Probably you have to help me. But
right.
Anyway, the most important thing is that the police are currently there. There are enough men to maintain law and order. And the point I want to make is that, and for the residents, they must all get it clear that if they are not involved in this matter, I'm not sure they have anything to fear about. The police are also human beings, and I'm sure they are able to sort out people who are not involved in this matter from those who are involved in the matter.
Right. We're grateful, Honorable Bid Zidane. We're still engaging in interaction with you, and we'll be grateful if you could hold. We're joined on the line now by Alhaji Harun, who is the West Mamprusi District Education Director, to give us an update there on the situation. It's great to have you on today's big story, sir.
Thank you.
So, I mean, give us a snapshot of the extent of damage in the Wale Wale Senior High School and how you're hoping to come back to full operations after this damage.
Anyway, thank you very much for this opportunity. The directorate is not divorced from whatever the regional security council, whatever the security council will take, because they provide us with security. And at the moment, the DISEC met and they are discussing strategies as to how we can open the school as soon as possible. But before speaking about opening the school, certain things must happen. as you have mentioned, certain things have been destroyed, and we must get to know how and why these things were destroyed.
But is the why not obvious? I mean, the students are saying that they're bitter that the head teacher or the school selectively admitted students from the Bimoba community, rejecting those from Wale Wale. Is this not sufficient grounds enough for them to be concerned?
And in fact, these are just conjectures. People are conjecturing various reasons for their demonstration. I, as a district director of education, nobody has presented any set of grievances to me. So if I'm telling you about any grievance for now, it's just a conjecture or it's just from DSA. And that makes it very difficult. Because if they had some kind of grievances gathered, then we will know that this is one. You are saying this, you are saying that. But we are hearing so many kinds of grievances for this particular incident. And I don't believe this is the truth. Because everybody is a Ghanaian. And it doesn't matter where you come from. Once you qualify to enter a school, a senior high school, you are qualified to enter. We don't discriminate as Ghanaians. No special school is built for a particular ethnic group. It's built for Ghanaians. And as long as you are a Ghanaian and you qualify to enter any school, then, and that's why we have this computerized school selection and placement system. And if they place you anywhere, that is where you go. So I don't know how the headmaster can selectively admit some particular ethnic group and leave other groups. That is what I'm just wondering
Right.
about.
So can you confirm to us, we know that the regional minister mentioned a couple of things that have been damaged in the school, including the headmaster's bungalow being burnt down. What else have been destroyed, and how much do they cost in value terms?
In fact, in terms of cost valuation, it has to be done by experts. Because apart from the headmaster's bungalow being vandalized and bent, we also have a computer laboratory, which we have suffered a lot. We have spent a lot of money with almost whatever is needed to make a laboratory, a model laboratory in Ghana. We have done it. And until yesterday, it was the showcase of the district. And they have destroyed and stolen almost 74 to 80 computers and laptops from that laboratory.
What else has been damaged? We want to have an idea of how bad the situation is on the ground.
Apart from these two, they also vandalized the sports equipment room, and they have taken away some sports equipment, boots, jerseys, footballs, and other things. But until we actually do on the spot checks about the things, I cannot tell you exactly what they have taken from the sports equipment room. They also went to some other members of staff. They ran away, and one of them, they have taken his laptop. They broke into his house. So I don't know the extent. We will need time to tell exactly the extent of damage or the cost involved.
Right, Mr. Harun, before I let you go, I need you to tell us what your office, the District Education Office, plans to do to perhaps reopen the school as soon as possible, beyond the fact that the police is taking action on this.
Yeah, well, we are depending on the police to restore calm. Now calm is being restored. And after the restoration of calm, that we will decide how and when the school will reopen. We need to repair certain things that have damaged before we can talk of reopening the school.
Right, and so in the meantime, what about those students who have not done anything, who were not involved in this vandalization of the school property? What is the Education Office going to do to ensure that they are able to get the opportunity to continue their studies?
Yes, my brother, for now, I can't tell who was involved in the vandalization or who was not involved. We need to put certain structures in place to come out, to find out who were involved and who were not involved. But for now, it's too early for me to say this section of the students got involved and that section didn't involve themselves. It will be difficult for me to tell you.
Right, thank you very much, West Mamprosi District Education Director, for the quick update there. This is today's big story. Welcome back to today's big story. I'm joined in the studio by Jonathan Osei-Owusu, POS Foundation Executive Director. It's great to have you here.
Nice.
Now, I know that you do a lot of work with youth development. Here is a case, a very typical scenario of young people in Wale Wale Senior High School who are aggrieved with the selection procedure and go on to vandalize school property, destroying a whole headmaster's bungalow, torching the police patrol vehicle, and destroying a computer library with about 74 computers. That is crazy.
Very, very crazy, my brother. I think there has been several incidents of violence here and there, but this particular one is very, 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 very huge. And I mean, I think it's one of the highest in terms of this route and vandalization. I think no one will want to support such an act. It is uncalled for and something that nobody will want to, would like to encourage in any school whatsoever. So let me first state emphatically that I think they went to the stream. And if you have any grievances and you want to iron things out, jaw to jaw, you dialogue with the authorities and not to go to that extent. But I think the extent they went, I think, is too
I even find it a bit frivolous grounds for saying that the school selectively admits students from one community against the other. I mean, there is the computer school selection placements thing, and so I don't know how it happens that people have such perceptions.
You know, behavior and attitude just don't evolve over a short time. Or what we discussing may have come after some time, or it has been developed. The computer selection process you're talking about, they may have a case. Who needs to explain even what you're saying to them? Previously, before that particular headmaster got there, my source or information gathered from the school was that they were having a lot of their people in the school. So if for some time they are realizing that their people are no more, or I mean they are so limited, they have.
So I mean, you are thinking that the concerns might not be frivolous after all. There might be some simmering or
when there is a problem in our country, we are always quick to attack the problem, but not the source. That is my problem.
Yeah.
The source is what we need to deal with so that it will not reoccur. Do you know some of these things may be going on in some other schools? The people are fueling their hearts and their temper. I'm not saying what they did is right. I don't want anybody to just say that what is he speaking, why is he speaking for the youth. But we should make sure we deal with the root cause of the matter so that it doesn't reoccur. That is, what is the problem? Are they having a genuine issue? They decided to attack the wrong antidote. I mean, the prescription to the solution is wrong, but they have a legitimate concern. So what can be done about the computer process if even they need to structure it in such a way that those staying around who have struggled to also one way or the other have the school in place will also have a say. And my source also points out clearly that it is not only the selection process. There has been several issues that has been burning. They think the headmaster is trying to discipline the children, which is good.
Share with us some of that.
According to some of them, it is very, 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 very autocratic or very, very straight. I understand that when you are dealing with young people, you need to be straight. But dynamism in terms of leadership point out clearly that you need to train people in a way before they adapt. I'm told that some of the teachers were not even happy about the decision of the headmaster trying to fence the school and lock in one particular area, which is the shortcut to the school. According to him, he wants to know the flow, the outflow and the inflow of the students.
But that's fair, isn't it?
That is fair.
That's a security precaution.
So the reason why I'm saying some teachers who did not expect this to go this far, I'm told we're even in support that the children should at least push it further for the headmaster to open that gate for them to use, because they can't be going up and down like that. What I'm trying to say is that the headmaster is doing well, but let the communication go. They are not kids. Those mentality needs to go away from our mindset. We are not dealing with kids. These are youth, and they have a mind to reason for themselves. Sit with them. They have something to offer. Then it can roll. If not, we will be always lashing them and then giving the straight measures. And when they rebel like this, it will bring chaos. Are we waiting for the cars to be bent, for the place to be? I just can't get what actually the youth, what made them do that. It is too bad. That is why I don't want to be in a position to speak for them.
But you are of the view that this problem didn't start today.
No.
And that it started simmering undertone for quite a while. with several other forms of agitation and concerns beyond just admitting one community more than the other?
I think in the long run, we should be looking for training seminars for headmasters, the relationship between headmasters and students. I'm telling you, if we don't deal with this, looking at how the youth are becoming very aggressive, looking at how the youth dynamism is revolving, it is going to reoccur. If we don't want to see that, we need to respect young people and their views and give them the opportunity to share. And then we also need to educate young people for them to believe that they have authorities they need to respect. Then it will be give and take. If not, if you go the one way, it will backfire, because we are not in the era of the old tactics military where you ask your son to sleep and he will sleep. He may question your authority. And so you should accept that the world is changing. And that is why I'm talking about dealing with the root cause of the matter.
But when young people choose aggression and violence and destruction of school property, that cannot be right.
Absolutely wrong. And I'm not supporting them. I write books on youth development, and this will be the last thing that I will support. But I haven't been a youth myself. You see how I'm talking with passion?
Yeah.
At some time, you just will take it a bit slowly, and then it goes from there. You can't run away from exuberance, passionate, adventure, and all these things are characterized in the youth. So how do we tame them? How do we groom them? How do we put them in the right perspective to be able to do things that will reflect the kind of country that we find ourselves?
Right, so quickly, we don't have time. Quickly, tell me, from the point of view of the school authorities, from the District Security Council, DISEC, from the regional minister, and from the students, what should be the way forward in resolving this crisis in Wale Wale Senior High School and other high schools in the country who might fall in a similar situation?
I think we should be looking at the orientational programs for schools, for students. If we want the students to behave, that is the beginning. Number two, I was talking about the security, you were talking about the security. I can't understand schools, students have chased headmaster off his bungalow on Sunday, and the security intelligence, they don't know. You think security is just picking a gun and going around? I believe that on the part of security, they should have foreseen what was going to happen.
I'm sorry, I have to end it there. Thank you very much, Jonathan Osei, who is POS Foundation Executive Director. It's great to have you here. This is today's big story.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back to the interactive segment. Marian Turi is here with me. Marian Turi.
Yes.
You look smashy.
Thank you. So
What's
do you.
up?
You look like a lord from Cardiff.
I am.
Lord Steve of Cardiff.
Stop that. So what are people saying on the social
They're
media?
talking about so many things, but today we are talking about government's decision to scrap the allowances for.
That's a big issue, right?
It's a very big issue because people are struggling to educate themselves, and if education is the only way out of so many ills, especially poverty in our society, and they can't afford it, even when they had grants. It was a problem, and now allowances, I should say. Now you're scrapping the whole allowance and you're asking them to go for loans. How do they pay
But you
that?
went for a student's loan before you could finish your university education. I did same.
Yeah, but mine was, I think it was quite different. I think it's acceptable because of where I was at the time.
Yeah.
Because it's what we do anyway,
Yeah.
that when you get to college going age,
Yeah.
you apply for a student loan, you pay for it X amount of years and everything. I'm sure it's the same thing here. Comparatively, it's a bit difficult for people right now.
All right, so Marian Turi, let's hear what they have.
Thank you so much. Welcome to JN Interactive. My name is Marian Toure. welcome back. If you're just joining us, I'd like to announce, as always, the social media tools that you need to get in touch with the show. The show is nothing without your contribution. So you can find us facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. We have a lot of posts there. Comment on them, and then we'll share them with the rest of the world. If you're on Twitter, twitter.com/joynews-on-TV, and our handle is @joynews-on-TV. Remember to use the hashtag JNInteractiveGH when you're sending us a tweet on this topic, so that we'll be able to take them all at once. If you're sending us an email, please send it to joynewsim@multitvworld.com. And our WhatsApp number is 0260518801. I am on Twitter too, by the way, and I tweet at MN Toure.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
As always, you know it, but I have to echo that. JN Interactive is where tech meets news to set the agenda. So government says it is not going to rescind its decision to scrap teacher training allowances. And government has actually stopped paying the allowances and has given trainee teachers the option of applying for student loans. As I speak right now, the Ashanti and Brong-Ahafo regions are threatening to demonstrate and strike over the matter. They actually started wearing red armbands today to signify their protest. But the public relations officer at the Education Ministry, who is Paul Krampa, in an interview said the strike won't change anything, and that it is most unfortunate because what they want, you know, is to prepare them towards embarking on examination, you know, instead of, you know, going on strike. So today we're talking about it. It is trending on social media. So that is what we're also talking about here. And there's a post on Facebook at this particular moment, and I hope that most of you have gone there to comment. And yes, you have. About 34 comments have come in already. We've also gone out there to solicit your views in our video blogs, as we always do on this show. So today we're talking about it. And in our first video blog, we are asking, you know, threats of strike. Are the students justified to even think about threatening to go on strike? Perhaps they are, perhaps they are not, because, hey, you can say that here in Ghana, nothing ever gets done unless you threaten to use some amount of force. You threaten to agitate before something gets done. So in our first video blog, we've been around there. We are asking you, are the students justified to even think that strike is the way forward? Let's take our first video blog.
There are students who are very, very poor, and these allowances provide them some motivation, form of start to even come to school. You know, some like training college like this, a person may not have the actual money to go to the university. That's the main reason why I start from the training college, and when he gets the foundation, he can move on to the university, apply for loan as maybe a teacher's loan, then it takes it to the university. But now that the government has seized all these things, I think it's equal as the same as going to the university. So people will think of going to the university direct more than entering into the training college, which will also provide a platform for other jobs. Allowances are supposed to be given to them, and then if you take it and use it as a loan, they'll have to pay back, and then that'll be like, it's not fair. So I think they should just give it back to them as allowance. Like, teachers are needed in the country, and we have to find a way out to make it easier to get more teachers. Nowadays, we have more private universities, so for me to suffer to enter into the training college as the way I suffer to be in the university, I would prefer to go into the university, which will provide more, let's take it, a better job as compared to the teaching. We are all taking loans, not allowances, and afterwards, if they pay, I think it helps the government in its revenue. The government may be taking it from them based on certain conditions. You know, when these these same students come out from the school, you know, they'll be fighting against the government for this because of this increment and this salary and that of the single span salary structure, you know. So it's out of that. That is why the government is also, taking this decision out of them, because
if I help you to come out from the institution and later on you will come back to fight by going on demonstrations, it affects the government.
I think taking the loans from the teachers will not help them because more teachers are attracted to the teaching profession because of these allowances.
I think it's not good because, first of all, it's this allowance that's allowing teachers to travel to the deeper parts of the countries. And if they are not going because of this allowance, what's the use of education in this country? Because you can't focus on education on just the Greater Accra region part and leave the other parts of the country. So I think it's a very bad suggestion from the government.
We'll take some comments now, and that is what you've been hearing the youth of Ghana talking about there. We'll take some comments that you have been, sharing with us on social media, especially on Facebook and the precursor. Everything is here, just what I told you about in our introduction. And we're asking whether the students are justified in their threat of strike. And on the flip side, is government's decision also justified? Newton just said and that was it. So I think I'd go to Umar says they should go ahead. Gilbert says not easy. Adubo4 says never will I go for student loan. And perhaps I can understand where you're standing right now, because it is very difficult sometimes to pay back your student loan when you have gone through the 4 years of education and then it's time for you to actually pay for the loan. Sometimes you are crying. It takes forever. You will get a job. You're guaranteed of a job. But once they start taking the everything monthly, then you're like, oh my God, I wish I didn't do this. But if you weigh what you're getting in the long term, then I believe that it's a good decision to find a loan to go to school and become someone better for the future. So I understand you, but I'm also coming from another side also. Akwesi Yabua Mensa says the government must pay the allowances and stop using the money for dinner and other stuff. Mahama Abre. Isa says you are from Wa West, Gurangu. They should not go on demonstration, but rather go to the round table with government so that an agreement will be signed. But I believe that they have said their bit, but government has just decided that, hey, it's about time. But on the other side also, there are people who are in tertiary institutions. Once you ask for tertiary status, then of course it comes with a whole kind of worms. And so if you've opened it, you deal with it. Once you start being recognized as a tertiary institution, then most tertiary institutions have that system in place where they don't give allowances anymore. They give loans. So you take the loan, you go through your education, and then you pay back. So I guess it comes with the times and it's with the territory. Gizman Emmanuelson says, very disturbing, but nothing can be done about it. Sad. I'm sure you're trying to say sad. Salifu Lukman says the trainees should continue with the strike until the government changes its mind. Ojo Peter, students are justified. They want to share the national cake. Lloyd says, why has this man put Ghana on the reverse gear? Roland Yabo, fine boy, I think they have the right to demonstrate, but the demonstrations in Ghana is now becoming unbecoming. Abba, President Mahama Abre, Nemo strikes ye. Eric Kofo Boating says, hey, Ghana, the black man is capable of mismanaging its own affairs. Ha, ha, ha. And that is a quote that you have decided to turn upside down. Adomaku Job says, got such review its initial decision after all. The only incentive for one going to training college is allowance. Bright says this is very wicked on the part of government after paying themselves with huge amounts and still take per diem, but they refuse to pay the students. Very sad. Wiz says they should apply for the student loan. So you think that, okay, they should actually go ahead and then apply for the student loan. And in our last video blog, we are also asking flip side. We've asked whether the students are justified in their decision to go on strike. So now it is the government's turn. Let's take a listen to what you're saying about that.
I think they should let the teachers know first so that they'll give them their views.
before they are able to do anything about it, because to me it's not fair.
So I think the government is doing wrong thing by neglecting the allowances that it provides to the universities. It's very, very bad decision. Because of financial problem, a person may decide, let me pass through the easiest way that I think it will be financially sound for me. But when you make it equal and higher, you don't provide allowances, and it's almost the same as the university. People will prefer going to the universities than passing through the lower form of education, which is much affordable.
Taking the allowances from them will mean there will be less people who will be interested in going to the teaching profession, which will lead to a decrease in the number of teachers, and which will lead to low academic performance.
Yes, right now that's what I think, because they're not thinking of the views of the people, and we are the ones who are supposed to dictate to them, not them. So it's not fair.
More comments on social media now, and Gilbert says he's from Bolgatanga. Scrapping the allowances of these students, it's a worrying issue that every Ghanaian should be concerned with. I really share their grief, but the trainees should take it easy since the decision has already been taken. Caleb says, never will I go for a student loan. I think I have missed some comments. Yep, I've taken some of these already. Joaquim says, I think the government's decision is very right. Most students are taking student loans and they're not complaining. I don't think trainee teachers taking loan is bad. They must be prepared to sacrifice for the nation and not always ask the nation to sacrifice for them by way of allowances. Gilbert says, not at all. Harry Dodu, they should keep quiet and suffer. Wow, what a prescription. Ambrose says, yes, they are. Instead of the government scrapping corruption, they have chosen to scrap salaries and allowances. This is enough evidence on the face of the pink sheet that the government former finance something attrition. I'm not getting this. Let's move on. Abdullah says it is important for government to take prudent measures about this issue. They deserve better. Park says, I support them. Also from William, I support them totally. The way they are treating teachers is unfair. Government must refund the allowances. Kwame Jalali, the government's decision is not justified at all. How can you scrap trainee allowances? Mr. President, do something because we no go green. Iram Toku says, this is a government who will stop at nothing to maintain teachers in the classroom. So I think the loan will not help. Dante Jeffrey says, yes, this should have been done long ago because they have jobs waiting for them, and the money to be added to national service personnel from universities and polytechnics. As a matter of fact, it is discrimination to other tertiary students. We are all at break even now. So you think that, okay, I am in a tertiary institution, I am paying for it if I'm in university. Why should someone in training college come and then attend school for free and still earn a salary and have a secure job after school? So now you think pound for pound. Wow. Asiedu Anani Samuel, fair play by the government. They're not special than the university students. Manson says, hope it will be replicated to nurses, police and all public training schools in Ghana. Else, it will be the worst decision ever taken by government. Majid Awudu from Gushegu. Marian, this is a difficult time to tell who is right or wrong. However, I think government should rescind its decision for the benefit of the poor. Umar says the government should change the decision, or else they should go ahead with the demonstration, because what government really hears is demonstration. Saeed Farouk says it's good that government has stopped it. It is singular cause of persons who do not love the profession going into and eventually leaving or making no better impact on pupils. So you are thinking that people actually use they use it to the training schools just to get an education and climb up and then go away from it. They are not actually committed to teaching. Okay, this one is coming from Arrival. This NDC Mahama-led government is on the verge of destroying this country. They should remember that we were here before they came. Surely we will send them back come 2016. Abong Kili government. I don't know what that means, but that is very funny. Musa Gomda says the students should voluntarily withdraw. It's not a force to be a teacher. Adomako says government should review its initial decision to stop the allowances because the only incentive for one going to training college is the allowance. Wow. Diseto. My worry is it should be denied other services too. And Ras Mubarak, can the government be kind enough to tell us the reasons behind these decisions? By the way, we deserve all the treatment from government because we were presented with free education, but we rather chose Idebi Keke. Nene says the allowances that teacher training students enjoy is the only motivating factor for students to enter into teaching. If the government scraps off this allowance, people would lose their interest in teaching. My final comments are, Mariam, I've just given this a second thought, and what is running in my mind now is, will the training college then be upgraded to an advanced certification instead of diploma? And also about the cut points, is it going to cut down? Wow. So many comments that have been coming through. Thank you so much for sharing all of them with us. It's rather unfortunate I can't take all of these comments, but I do appreciate that you really get involved. And Steve Ainty is back, so we can wrap up together.
Yes, you should have asked me my opinion about this students' loan.
Yeah.
My opinions don't matter.
Yeah, Stephen Ainty.
Oh,
your opinion?
Ask me my opinion.
What is your opinion?
I support it. It should be scrapped. That's
Why?
my opinion.
Okay, why?
I think we all must pay for our education some way, somehow.
Are you sure?
I mean,
once your children come through,
I pay my students' loan.
Because you paid, once your children come and you are fucking out all of this money.
My students' loan was around my neck for years.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But then it wasn't from here. It was from...
No, I took students' loan
one
for my
year and then also
in
Cardiff.
No, I didn't take students' loan for Cardiff.
Ah.
I paid my fees in Cardiff.
Oh.
Okay, Marianturi.
That is where we wrap up today.
My name is Stephen Ainty, and I've been hanging out
with Marianturi,
the interactive
lady. Have a fabulous evening. We shall see you in JN Exclusive. Yes. It's up next. Good evening.